As promised, year 3, here is another read through of Professor Pete, complete with actions. Professor Pete and the Lost Boy. Crash! The amazing silver time machine landed with an almighty thud. Carefully, Professor Pete opened the door before stepping out into the street. He looked around with amazement. The ground was covered in rubble, while the sky was filled with grey smoke. Where had he landed this time? At that moment, he heard a booming voice from behind him. "What are you doing out in the open? Didn't you hear the siren?" Professor Pete turned quickly and saw a man dressed in a long black coat and a domed metal helmet. "Get into the shelter now!" he roared. Pete had no idea what was going on, but he thought he should do as he's told. Quickly, he ran with speed down some steps which led into the underground train. Professor Pete realised he must be in London in World War II, in the middle of an air raid. Suspense filled the air. Huddled groups, babies crying, and worried-looking faces surrounded him. Under the bench crouched a small, frightened boy with a battered old suitcase. Nobody seemed to have noticed him, so Professor Pete knelt down to check if he was all right. "What are you doing under there?" he asked kindly. "I was on my way to the train to be evacuated when I heard the air raid siren," said the little boy. "So I ran down the steps, but then I couldn't see my mum anywhere." Professor Pete helped the boy to his feet. He noticed the boy was wearing a large brown label with his name on it. Quickly, they searched the underground, but there was no sign of the boy's mother. In the end, they decided they would just have to set off and hope they saw his mum on the way. By the time they reached the station, the train was already waiting at the platform. Anxiously, the boy looked around for his mother so he could say goodbye. He had just given up hope when through the clouds he glimpsed a face that he recognised. They were reunited for a quick goodbye before the boy had to board the train. "Take care, son," she said. "You'll be safer in the country. I'll see you soon." Professor Pete looked around at all the children and mothers saying goodbye and felt pleased he had been able to help. Then he set back off to the time machine, hoping it was still in one piece. And I hope you're having a good practice, year 3, keep on retelling that Professor Pete story with your actions so that we're experts at remembering it.